there's some limited amount of out of bounds allowed depending on like how you interpret the rule set. We will be seeing some weird stuff later on in the run, and trust me, it is okay. But yeah, and also no super swim. I think that's roughly like the rules.
Yeah, you can't transition over a solid tile, which is important. I think that's what I was told was the main thing. You can't like transition into other systems because there are 2 maps in Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah, so so it doesn't allow something called system transitions, which basically means unless 2 areas are connected by the ground or like by open area, whatever, you're not allowed to go between them. So you can't go between 2 different dungeons. You can't go between 2 different like sort of disconnected cave systems.
Yeah, and if you're thinking these rules are convoluted and arbitrary, it's because this game is finishable in about a minute if we don't have arbitrary and convoluted rules. So, that's the most justifiable reason that we have. But first things first, they've both gone to the beach, they've gotten the sword, they talked to our owl friend who we hate forever, and now they get to farm for rupees.
Yeah, so every time a rupee drops and it like pops in the air, you can get underneath it and hold out your sword or shield, and you'll actually collect it with, if you're lucky, with both hitboxes, both Link and the weapon or whatever. And Mighty's getting pretty good RNG and good dupes. Yeah, so he just needs to get 1 more.
Damn, both of them. Like, JC picked it up right at the end, he got all those dupes. Mighty missing 2 means he's gotta do this farming, which sucks. That's Link's Awakening.
It really sucks.
Letting you be able to spin slash beneath your feet.
Yeah, so each one of these bushes or grass patches has a 1 in 16 chance of dropping a rupee. So we need 10 rupees to go into the shop because we're going to be doing some purchases and then playing the trendy game, all on that same 10 rupees. And JC's having really terrible luck. And to add to the issues with LA being on original Game Boy hardware, there's actually a bit of lag. Like you can see when he's doing his spin slashes, when there's so many sprites on screen, it does actually slow the game down a little bit.
Yeah. If it didn't have those issues, I'd say that this game would probably be better than LADX just because of how snappy the menu is. But,
the menus are very nice.
We get to hear some music at about 10% speed. I'd probably switch the audio to Mighty because he's ahead. As he is heading over to Trendy Game. Hopefully he doesn't have a problem with Trendy Game. As our showcase race that we had, what was that, about a month ago? There's some suspect moments in that race.
Yeah, I think it was like early May.
Mighty set that up right. He didn't go for the fast one, so...
Yeah, so we sort of neglected to mention, but they went to the shop, they stole the shovel, they bought... I didn't check how many sets of bombs they got, but I think they would have both gotten 2.
Yeah, 2 is definitely safer.
And they did a trick where you save and quit after confirming your purchase, but before you actually see your rupees count down. And that allows you to just keep your rupees. So they take those 10 rupees, buy multiple sets of bombs, and then go play the trendy game, as well as stealing the bow.
Yeah, because we need bombs for, and Mighty didn't go for the first one. I'm assuming he's going to go for the second one. We need the bombs immediately for trick called Bomb Trigger. You drop a bomb, and then you transition, and within 4 frames or something like that, and then you drop another bomb. And because there are like 2 bombs on the screen, because of that, it ends up loading animations on the next screen, and it lets us skip a bunch of, or trigger a bunch of cutscenes that we wouldn't normally be able to, such as that, and then he transitioned back down, and Terran's gone.
Oh, that was really clean.
Yeah, that was super clean. That trick is way harder in this game just than the other one, just because of how snappy the menus are, and the fact that buffering is impossible.
Mighty actually did buffer it, so what you do is
buffer it.
You might see JC doing it. No.
It's so snappy in this game, like, the menus waste so much less time. JC did not.
Nice. See, JC is only getting 1 set of bombs here, so I guess he's pretty confident in himself.
Yeah, those
hopefully
bombs
that doesn't bite him.
Burn through your bombs, especially in a dungeon that comes much later in the run.
Mighty should be pretty safe, though, although he's already got Sword on B, so I don't know, we might have just banned him.
Yeah. It's acceptable on Switch because it's a Super Nintendo controller and B is basically A, but not for Game Boy.
No, so first dungeon, the Tail Cave. It's a pretty tame route up until the point where you get the feather, and then once we get the feather, that unlocks sort of like the key glitch in our speedrun called the super jump, and we'll explain that a bit more when we get there. But for now, Mighty just traversing the dungeon. He's gonna kill some things with flipping them with his shield and then hitting them with a sword.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't think I've ever actually seen this game in grayscale for this long. Like people at least do like sepia or like weird palettes all the time. I don't ever think I've actually watched this game that long in just 100% gray.
I don't know what you mean about weird palettes. Not a clue.
Not a clue. Not inverted palette, so that this room just bleeds your eyes out.
No, Mighty tried to play it a bit safe there, but kind of messed up a little bit. But he does have the feather nose, so that gives you a third dimension in the game. So you can now jump over pits and abuse pretty much everything ever.
Yeah.
So now, a couple screens Mighty's going to do with a super jump. So what that entails is you kind of go partially into a wall, like he is there. Then you jump towards the wall and then slash away, and that tricks the game into thinking you're going off a ledge. And we use that all over the place to just, skip over anything we want to.
Yeah, you have no collision whatsoever. That one you clip into a wall and then you literally just kind of jump off a ledge. It's a weird one. But yeah, you don't have collision when you're jumping off of ledges, so there's a lot of cool tricks you can do with that.
And if you were paying attention to the shop, you'd see that the bow costs 980 rupees. That's a valid price because it's super overpowered, and it'll kill any mini-boss in 2 hits.
Yeah,
Alright, here we have first dungeon boss, Moldorm, who is slightly less of a troll than in Link to the Past, but still kind of a pain.
I'd say Moldorm is arguably harder, depending on in this game. Because he will kill you or just ruin everything sometimes.
Now, depending on how many damage boosts you do, you might be on just 1 heart here.
Yeah,
which will leave you at 1 hit to death.
He does 1, he goes really fast. If you don't come in with a spin slash, it's going to take 4 hits to kill.
Oh.
And then this happens, which means JC's going to have to fight him again. Oh, that's a change. That's a difference from DX. You can't hold D through that and jump back up, can you?
Yeah, if you do that, it does a wrong warp. It takes you back over to the staircase towards the feather. Oh no.
Oh, and that's a death. That's unfortunate. That's going to cost not the worst amount of time, but you hate to see it.
Yeah, like if you're gonna die to a boss, this is probably the best dungeon to do it.
This is
just because you have the warp to the end. But if you don't have to die to a boss, just don't.
Yeah, this is I would say arguably the hardest boss in the game to get really consistent at.
Yeah, especially in Link's Awakening, because he's like one of 2 bosses, I think.
you know.
Spoiler alert.
Let me think. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, maybe 3. So anyway, JC now just getting his full moon cello, and Mighty most of the way to D2. First, we need to stop in this cave and get our best friend in the whole wide world, Bow Wow.
I disagree with that statement.
He kind of sucks.
But where does Link put that full moon cello? That's what I want to know. Using save and quit menu to skip text right there as well. It's something they use a lot. It adds up a whole bunch, except if you're opening, I think, like, small key chests or 5 ruby chests, and it's, like, frames.
Yeah, I think it's the 50 rupee chest is the one that's actually faster to mash through, and I think small key's just, like, slightly faster with save and quit.
Yeah, 50 rupees just says 50 rupees nice, and, save and quit is, I think, what is it, 2 seconds per save and quit?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I
The
only
start
run
menu in
this
this game is so fast. I know it's 2 seconds per buffer in the remake, because they did that because the menu being the way it is causes a whole host of glitches, so they just froze the game instead, which introduced another whole set of glitches when they remade the game.
Thank you, Uncle Nintendo.
Yeah.
So Mighty getting the worst RNG in the world. Bow Wow basically
God.
just eats things whenever he
has
decides
eat
to.
something. He's moving to the other side. Hey, there we go. He wanted that flower.
Oh,
I guess
that was awful.
Oof. So
Yeah, oh god.
yeah, Mighty's blowing all of his powder here. We need powder to light those torches and then never again. And and we're going to be getting the mushroom, which is the second best item in this game. Or maybe third, depending on what your opinions are on the last item that's very important in this run.
No, I kind of like the 8th item quite a bit.
I mean, that's what I meant, the third important item.
Yeah. So I might be going through here, pushing a couple blocks, and then there's a somewhat tight jump here. He just barely missed it. He kind of clipped the top a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you do that quickly, you can get across in one cycle. And
That's-
now we're going to see the bow being super overpowered yet again.
That jump is like suspiciously like hard to do.
Hi Nux. Bye Nux. And Mighty switching back to his sword to do what's it called? Ghost skip? Something like that.
Yeah. Do we have a real name for this?
Oh,
He accidentally
you were too
transitioned
early.
instead of just jumping and slashing, and then the ghosts leave.
Yeah, so they kind of get confused when you're against the edge, and they just go to the other side of the room and leave. So he got the level 1 power bracelet, and he's just going to leave D2 because it's quite a bit faster to finish the dungeon later on once we have some more items. But right now he's going to head over to the west and pick up the magic mushroom, which unlocks a whole slew of glitches. We don't need it for any real plot-specific purpose, just for glitching.
Yeah, so, the mushroom creates a text box. And
Uh-oh.
the text box does a whole bunch of fun things as prevents us from falling.
Yeah, so when you pick up the mushroom, you can save and quit before the text box appears and still keep it, but I don't even know how large of a gap it is, like maybe a quarter second, maybe smaller. And Mighty just barely missed that. So he has to go back and pick it up again.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. He goes for it again. If he misses it, that would... Okay, he's got
Yeah,
it. At least he thought to look.
Yeah.
It must have been happening recently, I think.
Well, he had to switch over to his bracelet, and he noticed it at that time.
I see.
So he's now heading over to the east. All he's going to do right now is just activate a warp. There are 4 screens on the map that have a warp hole, where basically if you go into it, it'll cycle you around them clockwise around the map. So he just wants to look at this one and save and quit back to D2, because we're going to use that to get back here more quickly later on. And then just heading on to D3. And hopefully not getting the heart piece.
Shame. Very important.
Oh.
Alright. Mighty is a valid run.
I guess my last PV is invalid then.
Yeah. None of your PvPs are valid, Spice.
Oh, feels bad. So anyway, he's heading on down this way. He's trying to keep a little bit of track on how much Bow Wow is eating, because we do need to get a piece of power in D3, and that's it's a pickup that allows you to go faster, do more damage, and get a little bit of knockback on your attacks. And JC getting the heart piece of shame.
Oh. Oof.
Nice.
So... Bow Wow didn't eat, like, anything, I think, for Mighty.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get some extra kills.
It's not hard in this next dungeon. So, mushrooms are great.
Yep.
And if there's any way we could route them into other categories in the remake, I'd want it, which there's not.
Also, Xander's commenting on you referring to DX as the remake.
Well, there is it's a remaster, technically. You know what? No, just mushroom in every route. Even the remaster. All of it.
Yeah, also
Mushroom
boomerang in
or
every
mushroom
route.
routes.
So yeah, there's just some weird mushroom shenanigans where basically if you do a save and quit, it allows you to like push yourself down on a pit. And we use that to just transition there where we shouldn't.
And so you can... Because hitboxes are good. You just open up keyholes from behind.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but when I was 8, that door was impossible. I didn't understand it. Even though I had already done it in a different dungeon, I had forgotten.
Yeah, if you play this game vanilla, you go through this mystical, wonderful place called Camlet Castle,
It's the best
which Alpha will tell you all about.
It's the best location in the game. Because it's faster, regardless of what Saga says.
Everyone says it's slower. But
Saga says
anyway,
it's 6 seconds slower.
Anyway, the mushroom thing allows us to not go to Canlet at all. We don't have to do anything with Richard, which is fantastic. It's so fast. But yeah, we get in here. He's gonna hopefully get Piece of Power. Nice,
Okay,
right on time.
And for context, doing Candlelit Castle is not part of my route. Doing something stupid around Candlelit Castle is is my route, but you can't do it in this game because of a trick that doesn't exist. And there is a super jump clank that helps you boost over those Dodongos, aptly called Dodongo Skip. And now I just
not called anything else.
The speed of the menu makes me like so sad.
Also, I don't know why Mighty didn't do a bomb arrow there, because he menued to put on his bomb and then just played a bomb instead of doing bomb arrows.
Because he doesn't need that many menus. Also, maybe he's worried about arrow count, which is definitely something that...
maybe. But JC also getting Piece of Power at the right place, but messing up his Dodongo skip a little bit. If you mess it up a lot, you can get stuck in one of those blocks, and that means you have to save and quit, which really sucks.
Yeah. Okay. I think he could have actually still super jumped from there. And yeah, so with the boots in those 2D sections, if you run off a platform, you can still jump, which is... Oh, wow, that's something I haven't seen in a while. Mighty missing that, I don't know what those are called.
Pierrots? Pierrots?
Oh, was it Perot?
I don't know.
I've
only seen it written, like... I'm not magical, I don't know how to say that. I'm not le français. Like all of our world record holders except for Vlak.
Yeah, if you are French, it does in fact shave about 30 seconds off your PB just for free. Nice.
So we were just talking, but we didn't even get to explain there. Maybe just did a trick called ICS, Instrument Cutscene Skip. That, true to its name, skips the cutscene of you collecting an instrument. It is a... Depending on your luck, it's a 1 or 2 frame perfect trick. And he managed to get it on the first instrument. So there's going to be 7 chances to do that throughout the run, and he's 1 for 1 right now.
It saves how much time?
I think it's like 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, it's...
So it's significant. But he's going to head on to D... Well, not to D4. He's heading to Animal Village, where he's going to get the D4 key. And depending on how he does things, he might be trying to take a little bit of damage through here. Yep. And then a little bit more on the Q command here, because they do a full heart of damage. He's going to need to take an intentional death to Death Warp. Oh, thanks, Bow Wow. So he's on half heart, but he's fine.
Yeah, this is actually perfect HP for right now.
Yeah, it's basically... Through this section, you basically have no risk of damage, but afterwards you want to die as quickly as you can.
Yeah, so Walrus skip. So we use a bomb trigger to trigger the Walrus cutscene, even though Marin's not here. And it has some side effects because of because the game checks to see how many actors are on the screen to return control to Link after this cutscene, and because we have this stupid dog,
best friend,
that never leaves the screen, we would never be able to do it. But if we wait for that rabbit to talk and leave, go back, Walrus is gone. And yeah, by dying, we can't push any buttons because we did that. We never got our buttons back.
Except for directions.
Yeah, except for directions. So we do that to we just go die, and having that save warp is very useful because of there's some sand that's going to give us a key here after we shoot arrows at it. There's definitely nothing else in this pit that isn't playing any music.
No, it's the Phantom Toll Booth.
Yeah.
Insert arrows, get a key.
You can save and quit here and just go back here, which is way faster because it skips an owl. And owls are annoying, so...
The worst. So I'm hoping JC doesn't mess up his walrus. I didn't pay attention to whether or not he did save and quit in the house.
He should be okay. Okay, yeah, he's fine.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, he looked a little bit too far to the right,
yeah.
Which concerned me a little bit, but...
Yeah, in our Link's Awakening DX tournament 2 years ago, we were doing no squoob, which doesn't allow you to do save and quits or death warps. So basically, at any time in the run, if you softlock, you're put back all the way to your first visit to the shop.
And so here's some questionable out of bounds. This is legal in the rules.
Yep.
You do a, what is that? That's not a super jump, that's a shack jump, right?
Shack jump, yeah.
Which is different than a super jump, if you want to explain that.
Basically, it is a super jump, but it uses a different way of basically setting it up. You don't need to be wall clipped for one. You basically just jump diagonally across the pit, and as soon as you hit that block, it does something magical and allows you to just tap up and get your super jump. Uh-oh, and
Yeah.
JC getting into that pit.
Oh, that's rough.
He is going to get an owl.
Yeah, so they're not applicable everywhere. You do need some special magic to happen, but you know.
No, there are a couple spots in D6 and D7 that are very optional, so we'll see whether or not either of them go for it.
And a very important one in D8.
And Mighty opting to not even do his dumb jump.
Gave up on a horrible room.
Yeah, that
sucks.
That's a terrible room. And you don't need to go around, you just do a jump. You don't even need boots for that, it just makes it a little bit easier.
It's a shame there's no way to skip that room. I was happy when it got routed out in other categories, but it's here. And then cue ball, everyone's
no!
Oh! Rip! Oh, that's
super unfortunate.
Oh man, I hate cue ball, but that was rough. He was doing everything perfect, and I guess he just miscounted his spin slashes.
I think he just jumped up by accident. I tend to just keep my hands off the directions during that fight because you don't need to move at all once you're in position. I'm not sure why Mighty's going all the way over because you can do the jump from the left.
He's trying to go to the other side because he knows how to do the jump from the other side. Honestly, from the left, I find it better or easier to do clipped with just feather. You can make that without the boots. But that's not a strat you have to know for any category unless you're playing the rando of this.
And who would do that?
Yeah, definitely not either one of us anymore.
Definitely not. So cue ball is now dead. Mighty's gonna pick up the flippers, and you're not supposed to come from this side, are you?
What?
So no, never mind. Yeah, you are.
No, you're doing LADX commentary.
Oh my god, I don't know how to do this game anymore. There's so many different routes.
Oh, did you see that lag? That lag is so good.
Yeah, that room has like 2 Zols, 2 fireball sconces, and a spark, and it's just too much for the game to keep track of.
If there's more than like 4 sprites on the screen, lag occurs.
Yeah, and JC got dumb jump, no problem there. So that's
and
nice.
So got the angler key.
And yeah, that's just some excellent game design, not even a glitch. He's killing the anglerfish. Didn't quite get the tech skip, but he's going to do a spin slash, 2 bomb arrows.
Fun fact, because this is a 1.0 JP cart, you can, like, soft lock yourself in a room in this dungeon. You can jump to a specific part on the lower part of the dungeon, and then you just, because of what happens in the room, you can't get back.
Oh, wow.
He's going for ICS.
Very nice.
That's
Mighty's 2 for 2. So now Mighty, breaking dungeon order now, he's actually going to be heading up towards dungeon 7 instead of D5. So that entails going up into the Tal Mountains.
Yeah, so normally there'd be a ghost that spawns after we beat D4. But
yeah, once you beat D4 and headed to the, I think it's the lower half or lower quarter of the world map.
Yeah, if we leave the mountain range, is an easy way of putting it. The ghost spawns, but there's something that can prevent that trigger, and we can grab that without ever leaving in the mountain range, which is great. Because splitting D4 is silly.
Now, for some reason, I'm just going to spoil a little bit, but having the level 2 power bracelet causes the ghost to never appear. So we're going to make sure we get that level 2 bracelet before we head down too far on the map.
I couldn't tell if Mighty got his obstacle skip. The stream hung on me.
I think he was a little bit too low there.
It definitely looked low, but like, you know, we can pretend like he made it because we couldn't tell.
So for anybody who is Oh, maybe.
Yeah, Mighty.
Yeah, so for anyone who's watched LADX speedruns, there's a trick called Rooster Skip.
This is why
which
No Stew is the
we're
superior
going to,
category.
yeah, we're
'cause
gonna
this trick is
skip
full
that.
of it.
We're skipping Rooster Skip. So this is Rooster Skip.
This is why No Stew is the superior category, like by far.
So those two like groundish tiles at the bottom are out of bounds for LADX by its rule set, but not in Link's Awakening. So we're able to do that and just skip over that.
We have too many convoluted rule sets.
Yeah. Thanks, Seabass.
Yeah. You can't clip more than 4 pixels into a tile. it's really, really complicated.
Yeah, it's just a lot of mumbo jumbo just to make sure the game is fun by somebody's deciding.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have a million categories in this game, because honestly, like, this game is just as broken as you want it to be. Like, there's ACE categories, like, it's ridiculous.
Then Mighty's going to be using the mushroom for a second time, I think.
Yeah, another reason why I want the mushroom in every run, because that's just free when you have the mushroom. And then they save and quit there to regain control of Link. Because they transitioned onto a tile, it zips them, and then but they're still in like a ledge jump animation, and when they open the save and quit menu, they regain control of Link. And...
Now, if you don't do a save and quit, Link will fall down into that pit and then respawn on the solid tile, and you won't be able to move anymore. So it'll be a soft lock there.
Yeah. But you regain control of Link, so you can hold down while falling animation where you're normally not supposed to be able to.
So JC also getting his Rooster Skip.
That jump that Mighty just did is probably the weirdest super jump in the game, because you have to do it so late into the animation.
No, we call it a super hop. It doesn't do a full jump, it's just a little hop.
Yeah, you just need to get on top of that. There's a ton of ways. So killing that Zol is very important, because if you don't, you can't do any of these bomb triggers. And we need those because you do need one big black ball to break all the pillars, or 2 small black balls, obviously. As they are going through just nice and easy. Yeah?
Okay.
You have a problem, Spice?
No problems here. Also, it's worth noting, like, for where JC is, he does in fact need to use the mushroom here because we don't have the hook shot. That's the way we do it normally, but we don't collect it at all in this run, and certainly not this early.
Yeah, and there's no other way to pip buffer in this game, and he elects to mushroom out of that. This is fine.
Somebody's coming up on a trick here called Goomba surfing, where we have to get a 1 pixel clip into this wall, and then do a tricky trick. Yeah, called a naked super jump. Because he needs to be facing upwards here to do this trick, and he can't use his sword or else he'll kill the Goomba by mistake. So he just needs to wait for RNG for the Goomba to get in position.
The one thing about this trick is if you do like slash your sword to keep your direction, as long as you get off the screen before the Goomba dies, it will stay there. And it looks
Very
like
nice.
Good. Yeah. That trick is RNG garbage.
Yeah, it's trash.
And it is 100% required for this category. And the bigger the screen you play on, the nicer it is, because if you can count the pixels, it makes it way easier. I was playing with Game Boy Player, and here's Evil Eagle. I love the bomb strat for him.
It's so easy.
And the second you see his talons leave the screen, you just pick up a bomb, throw it, and you'll hit him every time.
And JC right now having 7 bombs. As we mentioned, you need 2 for each of the bomb triggers, and he has to do 1 more. Oh, he got the shock jump.
Oh,
Very nice.
That saves what, a quarter second?
I don't know, like maybe even more.
You know, or not at all, because it's hard. But
all right, Mighty going for another ACS. Oh my god, 3 for 3.
That's pretty sick.
Mighty is a machine.
Does the record currently have 7 for 7, or is it 6 or 7?
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we were told that it was missing one. It's Vlak who has it right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vlak started running the game for the tournament, and he said something to the effect of, like, I don't want to grind out a world record, I'm not going to take it that seriously.
Yeah, I'm not gonna run this seriously.
And
In
then
a
you
week,
got
he
2
got world
consecutive
records,
world
so,
records.
you know, I guess we all just suck really bad.
Oh yeah. No,
Black
Black
is
is just really, really good
absolute monster at these games.
at everything he touches.
I tried to learn Wario Land 3 and his run just depressed me because of how perfect it is. It's so good. Go watch his record run for that. It's everything first try. It's nuts.
So we had a little bit more mushroom shenanigans from Mighty to cross that one gap. Then we're gonna have some more here
This is the
on
worst jump in this game.
my least favorite screen in the game.
He should be okay. Yep, he got it immediately.
Well,
If you mess that up,
all right then.
it is stressful because like if you if you push the buttons wrong, you don't go far enough, and
then once you land at the bottom, you have to hit up and jump on the same frame. Otherwise, you just walk into the pit.
yeah. Does shovel buffering work in this one?
I don't know. Never tried it.
Because if it does, that would make that it would waste time, but it would make it at least a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, maybe. So Mighty coming up on Dungeon 8, and for anyone who's played this game casually, you'll know that you need the Frog Song of Soul to get in, unless you bomb trigger.
Yeah, and in which case, this boss spawns, but there's a bunch of triggers that are messed up with it. It has 1 HP. If you
And
kill
no
it, it
hitbox.
respawns. However, the part where it doesn't have a hitbox when it comes out, that's normal.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So Mighty gonna do some naked super jumps here again. He's gonna bomb arrows on walls that they're not. There's no glitches here. It's just really bad design if you know what the map looks like.
Yeah. Because you're supposed to go to the other side and see it and, like, go through this whole dungeon, like, and slowly uncover this, but if you know where things are, this dungeon becomes very short.
Yep.
A little sad that we can't lava swim, because it's better, but it does give you some safety arrows. Which, we do need at least 16 arrows at the end of the game. Unless once one of them wants to go waste a bunch of time and get an ocarina, but does that work in this game?
I think it does, but I've never paid attention to it.
Yeah, so,
Oh.
this part's fun.
Yeah, this screen has just a little bit different timing from DX. So you can't quite make that first platform off of the ladder when you come in. And, oh, Mighty... Okay, sorry, this is the best trick in the game. This is Blano Skip, which is out of bounds by DX rule set, but it's perfectly allowed by Warpless.
Yeah, and, like, half the reason our rules discussions threads go long.
Shoutouts to Super
Rod.
Nintendo Chalmers.
So we have the Fire Rod, which is the
Magic Rod.
the Magic Rod, right? There's no fire in this game. It sets people on magic.
Yep.
And turns ice into water. It doesn't.
It destroys magic ice with other magic.
Definitely doesn't melt them.
Nope.
And Link is definitely not saying, "Brr, this is so cold. If only I had something I can melt this with." Right there.
And I mean, the English text when you pick it up is "burn, baby, burn," but it's just magic burn story. So this room has cue ball in it. Just trust me on it.
Yeah, cue ball is there. He'll be there when we go back in. He was probably just sleeping.
No, he's probably just like having a nap.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
Mighty
he's
did it.
out to lunch or hanging out with his good friend Cravone.
Mighty did a trick called Despawning, where basically if you use your magic rod,
Do you
I
want to
think it's
explain
like
this shenanigans first?
oh yeah, that's the power bracelet.
So that is in fact inside of D8.
Yep.
So that's legal.
Yeah,
We promise.
basically the way the game is coded, any room that's not used in the dungeon is coded as like a 0 for its room ID, but that happens to coincide with a certain room in Dungeon 7, but it also reads the chest information from the wrong spot, and it just happens that the level 2 bracelet is in there. So that is technically inside of the Dungeon 8 system because it's inside of a certain 4x4 grid, or 8x8 grid rather.
Yeah, and we access it because when you access Cue Ball's room from the top, which you're not supposed to be able to do while Cue Ball is in there, it just the game kind of freaks out and just zips you through the room to the next room. I'm not 100% sure why that happens.
I think it's because in boss rooms the doors are coded to push you upwards. And I guess it probably just overflows his Y position to the bottom of the screen, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, it's just weird.
So this is why Link's Awakening is the most inferior version. I hope you like the theme song sped down to about a 10th speed.
No, don't worry about 30 minutes ago when Alpha said this is the best version. It's actually the worst.
It is the worst, don't worry. I just really like the menu in this game. It's the best part of it. At least it's so much easier to dodge things moving at no speed in Armos Maze.
Yeah.
So this guy we don't despawn because we actually need his drop.
Yeah, so this is the Dungeon 6 key. Or the face key or something like that.
I'm upset that Fire Rod is the fastest way to do this fight.
Yeah, you can do that with like boots and sword or jumps and spin slash or something like that, but Magic Rod's just the best.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fun strats for it, but you know, yeah.
And these Armos statues, they activate when Link touches them with something other than his shield, or like his body rather. And they can only be killed by Bow Wow and arrows, and they always drop an arrow. So if you're using arrows, you get your arrow back. If you're using Bow Wow, you get a free arrow. So I'm maybe getting some resource pickups here.
Yeah, but they're slow to spawn. It takes them like 2 or 3 seconds to spawn in, like after you touch them to wake up. So it's easier to... God, the screen is a mess. Oh, but we never finished explaining despawning, I guess.
Oh yeah, so it's basically if you use the magic rod, I think 2 frames before. 2 frames before opening your menu, the game kind of gets confused and thinks that you're firing the magic rod every frame that the menu is opening. So you just get a ton of the magic balls, appearing on the screen at the same time, and because you have so many sprites, it prevents anything else from appearing. In fact, Mighty just did despawn there for a cutscene, because cutscenes manifest as a sprite.
Yep.
Sorry, Xander, I did say mushroom because I get the two confused because they are both very phallic objects.
So, yeah, that got despawned. That room is one of the silly tile rooms. But, you know, if it doesn't spawn anything, then, you know... creates a whole ton of lag. And just walk through dungeons, like, no, doors don't really apply most of the time.
Yeah, most of the rooms are coded to have the door open when there are no enemy sprites left on the screen. So if none are there to begin with, then they don't even close.
Yeah, which is important. We don't despawn the boss in D7, just because that door is basically coded to like is Evil Eagle dead, and then that's what opens that door. It's a very specific room.
No, so maybe just heading through this way. To the right here is where you go if you wanted to get the level 2 bracelet normally, or if you forget the root or something like that.
There's an owl statue here, or no, there's an elephant statue.
Stone tablet, I think.
Oh yeah, those are sprites. It's despawned.
Yeah. And I'm doing a trick here that he actually did on the way to D2 earlier called a flock clip, where basically when you talk to a stone you can't pick up or to a key block, the game allows you to still move a little bit through that cutscene, even though you shouldn't be able to move that direction. So let's just get through the corner of the key block.
This room has about as difficult as a boss as there is normally, so it's fine that we just despawn it and...
Oh my...
4 for 4!
4 for 4. That's a
good run.
Full minute of time save there.
Had a flub when he accidentally save and quit and lost the mushroom, but definitely making up a lot of time. And right now he's trying to despawn an owl. he lost time on that. That owl's really quick. But, you know, gotta skip the owl.
Gotta save those animals.
But we don't... He's gonna... He's not gonna make it anyway, though. The only animals that make it are seagulls.
And girls.
Well, girls who are transformed into seagulls.
So fun
I hope
fact.
that ending is in the remake.
Underwater, if you jump into a ceiling, you move forward by a pixel. So when he's against the ceiling there, he's trying to mash feather as quick as he can.
This is the worst dungeon in the game.
It's not bad in LA.
No, but it's still the worst dungeon in the game, though.
Yeah, so despawn there because homosaurs are a pain in the ass. And no one wants to worry about killing it normally.
Yeah, it's like if you do that room perfectly, like, you might kill it. The room's probably gonna lag and, oof. Okay. JC getting the Zorlax jump.
Yes.
Or
So
clearing
getting...
the Zorlax pit, sorry. Zorlax couldn't make that jump.
So Mighty getting the one and only small key that we need in this dungeon. Just for that door, and then pretty much everything else just despawned.
Because of Rando, I always forget that that's actually a small key door.
Yeah, and the Rando, I guess, to prevent soft blocks. That's just open. And Master Stalfos is here sometimes.
It's holiday.
Oh, my cat's in trouble. Oh no.
Rip.
Yeah, you can get a little bit of a damage boost off of the bloopers here if you're underneath them, but it's a bit tight to do.
Yeah, you have to go at a specific angle, and so by rubbing up against and sort of like clipping into those tiles when they hit the water, they do a dive. This is another reason why this dungeon is the worst one in the game.
Yeah, this is dumb jump 2.
Is the dumbest. This game has a couple dumb jumps. There's one in D4. The rest are all in this dungeon, and Mighty making it through second try. That jump sucks. I hate that jump so much. All the other ones are so easy in comparison.
The one nice thing about doing it in this game is you have the mushroom.
Yeah,
so if
and
you're
fast
like
menus.
Yeah, if you're quick enough about it, you can recover from a failure.
Yeah, so nothing pauses when you open the menu in this game, which is why the despawning happens. Is like triggers just kind of keep occurring.
Yeah. So Mai's just gonna despawn some more stuff.
Oh, it's so laggy.
And then you're supposed to have the hookshot to get to the boss door, but who needs hookshot when you can just jump?
When I was a kid. Like I had to go out of my way to find Goomba.
And so here's another boss. Yep, that's a boss.
Yeah.
So Mai's gonna get another ICS. Oh no, he missed.
That's fine. He's 4 for 5. It's 80% so far. He's still passing.
Yeah, although JC just getting his D6 ICS.
Pretty good. And
I think that puts him at 3 out of 4.
He must have picked up a whole bunch of refills in D7. Because of the despawns, there's not really any refills that you kind of get. So now they're done with most of the dungeons. They just have 2 left. D8 and D2, which we did almost all of.
Yeah, we could have finished D8 when we were there before, but just for the sake of routing, it's a little bit faster to do it now.
Yeah.
So he's going to head up to the Ukuku Prairie to get the warp hole up to the back of D8, and then go inside and finish it up.
Yeah, basically warping to D8 and finishing it and then walking down to D2 from there is faster than walking to D2.
And also, just for a chat, the world record is 43 minutes. Most like experienced runners, I'd say, are under 50 minutes. I think Mighty's PB is a 48 or a 49. So yeah, Mighty coming into D8. Not sure why he's killing these things. Just for fairy.
He's got 18, so he'll have 28 arrows. So, you have to do a specific super jump off of this wall to land on top of that, and then you jump over the stairs to make it to the boss because there's no wall there. And then we're gonna defeat Hothead with the fire rod or the magic rod as they intended, obviously. And
Guess 5 out of 6 for Mighty.
yeah,
That was incredible.
yeah. I mean, Hothead wasn't in that room. He used the magic rod. He
Yeah.
clearly defeated him with the magic rod.
Now somebody's gonna head on to Dungeon 2.
Yep.
And probably finish it up.
Man, he could just stop. He doesn't have to finish.
Yeah, he can just forfeit if he wants.
We aren't his dad. You might be. You're Spice Father.
Well, but he's not a spice.
That's fair.
Somebody coming in here. We've already got the power bracelet, and that's most of what we need, but we do also need the boss key to get to the boss tier. And actually, I'm wondering, in LADX we have a category called Stew, which people were mentioning earlier. And Dragon CO was just posting new strats the other day. That was risky. Posting new strats of actually doing a jump from this room over to the instrument. And I'm not sure if that's out of bounds for this game. I think it might be.
If it does it go through the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's out of bounds for this game.
Yeah, this one has like no transitioning to solids, I think.
Oh, was it Oh!
Or from solids, I don't know. It's one or the other.
Yeah, if it's from solids, then it's not good. If it's a weird thing, if it's like you can't go through 2, then maybe.
Somebody despawning the genie as well. And that's his last boss.
I mean,
Oh my god.
you have to despawn the
6
genie.
out of 7 ICS.
Yeah, we can't break his bottle. He lets us know as much, so despawning him is the only way we can beat him.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
So, he has all the instruments, so you can see on his menu. So he's heading on to the Windfish Egg, where he will do the final boss. He's gonna do another despawn here to get rid of a smelly owl. Then he'll do a bomb trigger to open up the egg because we don't have the ocarina.
Man, now owls are smelly.
Yeah. Have you met an owl?
Yeah.
They are pretty stinky creatures.
I mean, this one was cared for. It was some giant, like, hornbilled owl that some preserve had. Thing probably lives in more luxury than anybody I know.
So, I'm not sure if Mighty does the manip for Aghanim, but if he does, he's probably getting out his phone right now. But anyway, so...
I hate that's a thing.
I love it.
Well, I hate that we have to use an app for it. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I worked hard on it. It looks really good. It has 2 colors.
That's too many. How can they use it for this game? How many colors do you see on the screen right now, Spice? I guess there's
Black and lighter black.
Yeah, the black and lighter black.
So, going through the egg here, normally you would have to complete the trade sequence and read a book to find the combination. But as it turns out, if you don't actually learn the combination, it's always the same default. It's left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up.
I really hope that's the same in the remake.
I know it will not be. There's no way. Okay, Mighty's not going for the minute.
Okay, but he does get that, so... this, I'm happy, exists now.
I can't tell this.
I have to learn it, and uh-oh.
He moved over too quickly. Oh, damn, that really sucks. So,
I feel like you should just save and quit. That would
is
be
he just
faster,
dying?
right?
Yeah, save and go much faster. There we go.
Okay, he realized it.
So he just moved over a little bit too early, which is alright. He can just save and
so
quit and go again.
If you ever played the deluxe version, as JC is having the worst time in the world trying to super jump with a fire rod.
That will not work.
Yeah.
At least for the hop. Oh.
Yeah, no, you can make it.
Oh. You just have to do a lot earlier.
Your frame window in comparison to the sword is way lower. You know what, maybe, yeah, now that he's at save and quit, he can just do a reload. Okay, and
Okay,
you
there
get
we go.
flank, so then it's consistent.
So, yeah, poking the wall like that makes that quick kill consistent. You're not supposed to be able to hurt the blob with your sword, but if you have it land near your sword frame or pixel perfectly, then you can damage.
So, you want to explain Aghanim and then explain why your app works?
Okay, so Aghanim, if you get the quick kill on the blob, then it turns out that we can perfectly predict frame counts, and the frame count in the game is something that we can use to, like, kind of predict RNG. So, if you were to get that, then you would have certain setups for wherever Aghanim goes around the room. You'd use this fancy app that I made where you basically press a button depending on where Aghanim moves, and it shows you whether or not you need to be on an even pixel or an odd pixel, horizontally. So Mighty, I guess, has not taken the time to learn it. He really should, because I don't think he got any blue balls there, but
He
it's
got
always
none,
nice
so
to
he
have.
doesn't need your app, he's just lucky. And then the rest is just spin slashing and dashing. It's not much, but then we have Defil.
I just want to comment there. JC just left the boss key room, I guess before the chest spawned, but after killing everything, so he had to do it again.
So, is Mighty a hit away from death? Defil does 2 hearts, right?
Just one heart, I think.
Okay. For some reason I think it's 2.
So
Maybe
it's
it's
16
just
arrows to the eye to win here.
painful memories of Rando and just skipping heart containers because
But Mighty has quite a lot of spare arrows, so he's just
not
really caring about
them when his
wasting.
eyes closed. Oh boy.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, do not land on the iron, please.
That would be
The
so...
hitbox is still active. Okay, good.
Yeah, okay, so unless Mighty turns off the console and just forgets to do it, because time is when the screen fades to white because of a stupid skip that exists that you can die during.
Yeah, so Mighty finishes, his SRL time is a 52:02, and he's the winner of our race tonight.
Yeah,
So GG to
meanwhile,
Mighty.
JC heading over to the egg.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to see JC try to do the manip. So it would be nice to have a chance to like kind of explain a little bit.
How can you tell if they're gonna do the manip?
I don't know.
Put trackers in your app.
Yeah, I can tell if he's got it open right now. I also know... I'm not gonna do that joke. So, JC, missing the bomb trigger there, so he has to despawn the owl again.
That's such a silly thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, he did... I'm not laughing at his expense, I'm just laughing that because they have to do this, it's just really silly. He's really good at despawns, he should just buffer the bomb.
There
there we go.
Yeah, you have to hit up and bomb on the same frame. And it's 60 frames per second, so it's a little bit tight. Alright, so that was the Ballad of the Loonfish, which we're not really supposed to talk during, because it's our national anthem. So, JC is going to be heading through the egg, same as he did before. Or, same as Mighty did previously.
It looked like he was gonna go left again because he went real far over, and I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah, with the, for the movement in the game, if you're holding a diagonal, no matter which buttons you're holding, Link will not change his direction, even if you're facing upwards and holding down left, for example.
Okay, so he got this, and,
Okay, so he's just going for a different setup, I think. Actually, it's not going to necessarily work. but it does work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other setup, it works consistently because it sets up RNG properly. But JC just got lucky there. It's a 50-50 whether or not it would work by what he did.
And then you have to, because we don't have powder, you have to dangle your sword, just kind of, and hope.
Now, interestingly, in LADX, if you have the mushroom, you can use it to instantly kill the blob. But that doesn't work in Link's Awakening.
Which is faster.
Yeah, it's so good.
But getting the mushroom is slow, which is the largest crime of LADX. So if anybody can help us skip a locked door in D2, that'd be great. And one blue ball, so pretty good Aghanim. Moldorm quick kill. If you get a spin slash, and then you just keep slashing him 15 times?
Something like that.
Yeah. It's 12 or 15. You can slash him indefinitely. He won't die until you stop.
Actually, no, that's wrong. Someone was saying that if you slash him too much, he will die outright, and then the next phase will not spawn.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm gonna guess it's at 255 slashes then.
I would imagine. So JC opting to not trap Deathwell in the corner, it makes it a little bit easier because he's not wiggling back and forth.
I don't know how he's doing it, but he sure is. Death will never behave as well if we leave him in the middle.
And, oops. I'm just pulling up JC's stream because I've been told that he's on a sick PB pace. Because even if he's not winning tonight, he is getting a 3.5 minute PB.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's a good time.
GG's to JC, regardless of coming in second place with a 56-51 SRL time, he does have a huge PB from tonight.